Hey everybody, I'm Stephanie and welcome to my channel. Listen, I know it's great to ring in the new year at home. You've got your fuzzy slippers on, maybe some sweatpants, you're avoiding amateur fireworks shows, it's a good time. But let's be honest, some of us, and I'm not saying it's me, want a little more excitement than what you can get watching Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with your Uncle Steve who keeps falling asleep on the couch. So if you're looking for a New Year's Eve party that's a little more explosive, a little less should we watch another Dateline marathon, then you've come to the right place. Get ready to say Happy New Year to the top 11 cities for an unforgettable New Year's Eve celebration. We're talking massive parties, crazy crowds, fireworks that could rival a small country's military arsenal. Basically, everything you need to start the year off with a bang. And trust me, after watching this, you'll be booking your tickets faster than you can say Auld Lang Syne. Let's do it. Alright, let's be real. Did you really think we were gonna start this list anywhere other than New York City? The Big Apple, the city that never sleeps, and trust me, on New Year's Eve it's wide awake. We're talking Times Square. 500,000 people all crammed together like sardines in a can. But hey, they're happy sardines. Why? Because they're about to witness the most iconic New Year's Eve tradition ever, the ball drop. This ain't just any ball. This thing's been dropping since 1907. That's over 100 years of sparkly, glittery New Year's Eve magic. And when that clock strikes midnight, bam! Fireworks, confetti, general mayhem, it's beautiful. And if you're lucky enough to be on Times Square, you can even write your New Year's wish on the wishing wall. Now I know what you're thinking, I don't know if I can handle being packed in with 500,000 people. And you know what? You're probably right. But don't worry, there are other ways to enjoy New Year's Eve in New York without getting trampled. For starters, you could try snagging a table at a restaurant overlooking Times Square. Sure, it'll cost you an arm and a leg, but hey, you'll have a great view and you won't have to worry about someone spilling their champagne on you. Or if you're feeling really fancy, you could take a boat trip around the New York harbor. You'll get a front row seat to the fireworks and you can avoid the crowds and the drunken singing. It's a win-win. Just remember, whatever you do, book early. Because when it comes to New Year's Eve in New York, things fill up faster than a subway car at rush hour. Alright, let's hop on over to Europe, shall we? And no, we're not talking about Paris, not yet anyway. We're headed to Berlin, Germany, where they know how to party. Especially on Sylvester, which is what they call New Year's Eve. Don't ask me why, I don't speak German. Berlin's got a lot going on for New Year's, but the main event is at the Brandenburg Gate. Picture this, a 2-kilometer long party street, stretching all the way to the Victory Column. We're talking video screens, live music light shows, party tents. It's basically a giant street party on steroids. And the best part? It's free. That's right. You can wander around, soak up the atmosphere, and enjoy the festivities without spending a dime. Now, I know what you're thinking, I don't speak German, will I fit in? And to that, I say, who cares? It's New Year's Eve. Nobody's judging your language skills when they're busy dancing on tables and singing along to ABBA. Plus, Berlin is a melting pot, so you'll fit right in, even if you don't know the difference between Guten Tag and Guten Rutsch. Just smile, nod, and raise your glass. And if you get tired of the crowds at the Brandenburg Gate, there are plenty of other parties happening all over the city. From underground clubs to swanky rooftop bars, Berlin's got something for everyone. Just remember to pace yourself because this is Germany and the beer flows like water. You've been warned. Bonjour mes amis. We're off to the City of Lights, and no, I don't mean that club in Reno. It's Paris, the capital of love, baguettes, and tiny dogs in purses. Now picture this, you, someone you hopefully like, a bottle of champagne that probably costs more than your rent, and the Eiffel Tower exploding in a kaleidoscope of color. That's New Year's Eve in Paris. They don't call it the City of Lights for nothing. The whole city is lit up like a Christmas tree, even if it's not Christmas. But if you're not into crowds, I get it. Head over to the Montmartre district for a more bohemian vibe, less pushing and shoving. Just watch out for pickpockets. They're like little ninjas with berets. Now, the Champs-Élysées, that's where the real party's at. It's like Times Square, but with better food and fewer Elmo impersonators. You'll be rubbing shoulders with people from all over the world, all speaking different languages, but united by one thing: the desire to party like it's 1999 or 2025, whatever year it is. Expect lots of champagne showers because apparently drinking it straight from the bottle is so much more fun. And don't be surprised if a random stranger plants a kiss on your cheek. It's a French thing, just go with it. So, grab your beret, practice your best oui, and get ready for an unforgettable New Year's Eve in Paris. Just don't blame me if you wake up with a baguette-shaped hangover. All right. Lads and lasses, let's hop across the pond to London town, where they celebrate New Year's Eve with a stiff upper lip and an even stiffer drink. Forget about that tiny bowl dropping in Times Square. London's got a whole Ferris wheel lighting up the sky. The Big Ben chimes 12 times, which feels a lot longer than you'd think. And then, bam, fireworks galore. The Thames turns into a giant street party. Now, if you want the best view in the house, avoid the London Eye like the plague. It's a tourist trap. And you'll spend more time queuing than actually watching the fireworks. Trust me. I learned that the hard way. Head over to the South Bank or Victoria Embankment. Those are the real insider spots. Just watch out for those pesky gaps on the tube platform, especially after a few pints. Speaking of pints, pub crawling is practically mandatory on New Year's Eve in London. It's like a national sport, except instead of sweating, you're just steadily getting more and more jolly. And the best part, the tube is free after midnight, so you can stumble home without worrying about the fare or accidentally getting on the wrong train and ending up in Scotland. Not that there's anything wrong with Scotland, it's lovely this time of year. But the party doesn't stop on New Year's Eve. On New Year's Day, there's a massive parade with floats, brass bands, and even the Queen's horses. No word on whether the corgis make an appearance, though. Alright, let's jet set down under to Sydney, Australia, where they're already celebrating New Year's Eve while we're still nursing our morning coffee. Talk about overachievers. Sydney Harbour is the place to be, mate. It's like a giant postcard come to life with the Opera House, the Harbour Bridge, and enough fireworks to make you think aliens are landing. They don't call Sydney the New Year's Eve capital of the world for nothing. They've got aerial acrobatics, Aboriginal smoke ceremonies, and a parade of boats that's lit up like Liberace's piano. It's a sensory overload, in the best way possible. And did I mention the fireworks? They're so massive, they make the ones in New York look like sparklers. It's like the 4th of July on steroids. And I mean that in the most complimentary way possible. Now the party starts early in Sydney because, time zones. So pace yourself. You don't want to peak before the fireworks even start. Darling Harbour and King Cross are where the after parties are at. Just be prepared to flash your ID and pay a cover charge, because even on New Year's Eve, nothing in life is free. Except for the view, that's pretty spectacular. And if you're feeling adventurous, why not start the new year with a dip in the ocean? The water's lovely this time of year, and it's a great way to wash away any lingering regrets from the previous year. Just watch out for sharks. Okay, I'm kidding about the sharks. Maybe. So, grab your sunnies, slap on some sunscreen, and get ready for a New Year's Eve celebration that's as wild and wonderful as Australia itself. Just don't blame me if you wake up with a kangaroo in your living room. So, you want to ring in the new year with a little sophistication, a little class? Forget Times Square and Berlin. Vienna is calling. Picture this. You, dressed to the nines, waltzing through the snow-dusted streets of Vienna, the crisp winter air filled with the sound of music. Not just any music, but the kind that makes you want to twirl with a stranger under a street lamp. Vienna during New Year's Eve is like stepping into a real-life fairy tale. The whole city is decked out in twinkling lights. The aroma of roasted chestnuts and hot spiced wine fills the air. And everyone is just a little bit more charming. Think of it as the New Year's Eve party your grandma would actually approve of. Now, if you're lucky enough, you might snag a ticket to the legendary Grand Ball at the Hofburg Palace. We're talking floor-length gowns, tails, champagne, flowing like water, and enough waltzing to make your head spin. It's basically the fanciest prom night you never had. But even if you don't score a ticket to the ball, don't sweat it. Vienna has enough going on to make your New Year's Eve unforgettable. Catch a classical concert, maybe check out a burlesque show, or even better, take a romantic dinner cruise down the Danube. Now let's talk fireworks, because let's be honest, no New Year's Eve celebration is complete without a little pyrotechnics. And Vienna does not disappoint. Head over to Vienna's famous amusement park and prepare to be dazzled. We're talking a fireworks extravaganza that would make even the biggest pyromaniac giddy with excitement. But the party doesn't stop when the fireworks fade. Vienna keeps the celebration going. New Year's Day brings a whole new kind of spectacle, and trust me, you won't want to miss this. Hundreds of thousands gather in front of City Hall for a special treat. A live broadcast of the Vienna Philharmonic Orchestra's legendary New Year's concert. Imagine standing shoulder to shoulder with fellow music lovers, the majestic City Hall as your backdrop, and the strains of some of the most beautiful music ever written washing over you. It's enough to give you chills. So there you have it, Vienna. A city where you can ring in the new year with a touch of elegance, a dash of magic, and enough charm to last you well into the new year. When you think epic New Year's Eve destinations, Madeira probably isn't the first place that pops into your head. But trust me, this Portuguese island is a hidden gem for ringing in the new year. Forget shivering in the cold or battling massive crowds. Madeira offers sunshine, stunning scenery, and a record-breaking fireworks display. That's right, record-breaking fireworks. The heart of the action is in Funchal, Madeira's vibrant capital. Imagine strolling through charming streets, the air filled with festive lights. The whole city is decked out in festive lights, and the atmosphere is pure magic. When the clock strikes midnight, the sky explodes in a symphony of color. It's a fireworks display so grand, it'll leave you speechless. It's like 1,000 rainbows having a party in the sky. So there you have it, Madeira, a New Year's Eve surprise package that combines stunning scenery, a record-breaking fireworks display, and a laid-back island vibe. It's the perfect place to escape the ordinary and ring in the new year with a bang. Forget those boring New Year's Eve parties. We're going to Edinburgh, Scotland for Hogmanay. 4 days of non-stop partying, Scottish style. Bagpipes, kilts and fireworks. A torchlight procession with flaming torches. Hogmanay attracts over 250,000 people. Massive outdoor concerts called Keelies. A New Year's Eve celebration like no other. Over 4 tons of fireworks at midnight. Everyone sings Auld Lang Syne. And the Looney Duke, a freezing cold plunge. Edinburgh's Hogmanay. 4 days of partying, fireworks, kilts and icy plunges. Alright, let's be honest. Las Vegas is basically one giant New Year's Eve party, 365 days a year. But on actual New Year's Eve, forget about it. They crank the debauchery up to 11. We're talking about a city known for its casinos, shows, and celebrity chef restaurants. So imagine what happens when you add a New Year's Eve countdown to the mix. The entire Las Vegas Strip is shut down to traffic, becoming one giant pedestrian mall. Concerts, DJs, street performers, and enough champagne to fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool. And then there are the fireworks. We're talking about a pyrotechnics extravaganza that would make the 4th of July look like a sparkler show. So, if you're looking for an over-the-top New Year's Eve, Las Vegas is calling your name. Well, there you have it. 11 of the most unforgettable cities in the world to ring in the new year. Whether you're looking for a romantic getaway in Paris, a wild party in Las Vegas, or a taste of Scottish tradition in Edinburgh, there's a city on this list that's perfect for you. Now, I know what you're thinking, Stephanie. This is all great and everything, but I can barely afford to pay my rent, let alone travel to one of these fancy cities. And you know what? You're right. But hey, a girl can dream, can't she?